Hey, you guys, it's Lavilia. Today I'm doing a video testimonial with one of my business funding clients, Odies Turner. And today he's going to share with you what it has been the process of him getting the funding and how it's been and what his expectations were and was he satisfied with the service that he's got so far. So Odies, if you can explain to the listening audience or the visual audience what has been so far with you getting the funding, the business funding?
Absolutely. I appreciate the time and opportunity. With the funding, I can say that it has been very, very pleasant. I've enjoyed the experience, and it's allowed me to do a lot with what my goals have been for it, and a little bit more because it's still actually going as we speak. So yeah, with my experience with this has been very pleasant.
Okay. So Odious, what I want you to explain to the people, just so everybody knows, now Odious is a client where I have explained to people where he was in terms of his credit, he had healthy credit. So basically, he didn't have any derogatories or anything. If anything, he had high utilizations. So
Right.
for the person who has the high credit utilizations, and what do I mean? Meaning that he had some credit cards that needed to be paid down. And one of the
Mhm.
things that people always say is, okay, well, what happens if my credit card balances are real high? So I want Odious to explain to everybody what that process has been with the bridge funding.
That has that has been absolutely amazing to me. That's been one of the biggest helps in the process. Like you disclosed that my credit has been pretty good. It hasn't been the issue in the process. It's actually been the utilization. And unfortunately, it has some circumstances that caused me to do that. But they have this thing called the bridge loan. And with the bridge loan, what it did was it allowed me to actually get access to the funding like instantly to pay down those cars. And then I was able to go back and send in my application to actually get funding from that process. So my experience with the bridge funding was kind of sketchy at first because I didn't understand about it or how it worked and what I needed to do to actually partake in the process. But when I actually got over the first initial scare, which was the unknown, then I was fine and comfortable with the process. It was pretty seamless. So what ended up happening was I got a call from a individual who's doing the bridge loan.
One of the
He
lending partners.
specified,
So who, yeah, Odious is referring to one of the lending partners gave him a call. Is
yep,
that correct? Okay.
that is correct. One of the lending partners gave me a call and he asked me, what is it that I needed in regards to the, amount or whatever. And he was like, okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire you the money. And I'm like, really? Yeah, all I need is your information, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of parked right there because I'm kind of unsure about the whole process. But he, made sure that I was comfortable and, let me know that he would send over a contract. So everything was, seamless and understood as far as the guidelines were concerned. And I was comfortable with that. So he sent over the wire to me. I was able to pay down my utilization to where I needed it to be in order to qualify. Once that was done, I let them know what I did, and then we went on with the process of, the actual funding piece.
Yes. So basically what Odious is basically talking about is, that's why I had to correct him with saying lending partner, because
Yeah.
I don't want people thinking like, oh, well, who's this nondescript person who's calling people up, giving money away. But basically, yes. So what Odious is explained that there's a process. So what the lending partner does is they call you, the person who is looking for the funding, to set up, how the payment is going to go through. So how could you kind of go into like the speed of everything happening in terms of the lending partner giving you a call and the money being transferred into your account? You can elaborate.
24 hours.
Okay. So, very seamless process, right?
Very seamless.
Okay.
Like
Now,
that's pretty much how fast it was.
is that now
24 hours. I did the
they,
contracting, I signed on the papers, agreed to what I need to agree to, sent over the wire the next day, and we were good.
yeah. One thing that I also want you to share with people, and I should have began with this. Did I ask you before we started working together for getting lending, did you have to establish any net 30 accounts? Because a lot of
Oh,
people
yeah. Yeah,
always think that's where they need to start.
right. Yeah, I heard about it before, and a lot of times people always say, "Oh, well, you probably have to do the net 30 type of thing," and it was like, well, I didn't actually have to do any of that. So when I started, we talked about it, and we kind of confirmed what the options would be. And then from the options that they gave me, I was literally actually able to choose which direction I want that was best for me in the process at that time. So they gave me the options. They told me specifically why these options were available to me. And, it was explained to me in detail, like, you're here at this level. This is why you need to do this. This is why you can't do this part, X, Y, and Z. So it was plain and simple for me to make a educated decision what would be best for me in my situation. So no, didn't have to do any net 30s at all.
Yeah. And that's the one thing a lot of people don't understand, because the strategy that Odies, Mr. Turner, that I shared with him, is how to leverage his personal credit. The reason why it's such a powerful strategy, because it allows you to get access to funding immediately. Unlike what most of the information that's out there on the internet and YouTube, where they're telling people to establish all these net 30 accounts or what have you. And even then, does it have a place? Yes, it does. But when you want actual cash, Mr. Turner explained to you all how, even with the bridge funding, with him having credit cards that had balances, and how the speed of implementation from that lending partner was able to wire transfer money into his account for him to pay those balances down. Now that's not being done with net 30 accounts. Like, that's what people don't understand. That's not being done. And I don't think people really understand. I always say on this channel, they really don't understand the chess moves that are being,
Absolutely.
that's happening. Because even Mr. Turner, when we had an offline conversation, and he was just amazed at how the lender contact you, was ready, set, go to be able to transfer that money over.
Absolutely.
Okay,
And
so
I played a big,
go ahead.
and we have to play a big part in ourselves too, and make sure that we're actually following up with the process, because a lot of times people get, a call or email, and don't respond to it. It's like, this is something that you are asking for, so stay on top of it, be consistent with it. And it just made everything go seamless when I took the initiative and said, hey, this is what I want to do. They're contacting me, they're looking for this information, make sure I'm on top of that. And that's something I will explain in the process. Make sure that you are actually responsive to the situation when they're asking for stuff. So yeah.
Exactly. And that's a good part, good point, I should say, because what a lot of people don't understand, you're right, you do have to play a proactive part. I think some people think it's just a government giveaway, like, oh, somebody's just going, just like a windfall of money is going to fall into my account. And you're right. They do miss the phone calls, they do miss the emails. And so here that, a person wants speed with getting the funding, but they're not doing their part. So I thank you for sharing with me with that.
Absolutely.
So if someone was interested in getting funding, would you recommend it? Is it something that you would recommend?
I definitely would recommend it, because I mean, everybody that's starting a business, if you're even thinking about starting a business, you're going to need capital to do something with what you're doing. If it's you just trying to do a special pop-up shop, or email, what do you call it, postcards, or whatever it might be, you have to have startup capital. And I believe that this program has positioned me to actually do the things that I need to do in my expanding. And, I just needed to make sure that I had enough capital to do what I needed to do. And they made sure that that was what they met for that
And
time.
just
So yes,
and
I would definitely recommend the program.
Great, thank you so much. And just so for people to know, Mr. Turner is going to look to get more capital as well. So
Hmm.
he is working towards that, as well as, and I want people to know this, is that he is also someone who helps individuals get capital as well.
Absolutely.
Because now me and, Mr. Turner has created a relationship, and he's also someone who's looking to assist others as well. So you can find him on social media. I think Odies Turner.
Yeah,
And so if you want to reach out to him as well. So thank you so much, Mr. Turner, for taking
absolutely.
time out of your busy schedule to explain to everyone that this is real stuff, man. It's
Yes, it is.
not the flim flam you see on
Right.
YouTube. So thank you so much. Okay,
You're
you have a
welcome.
great evening.
You too. Thank you.
All right then. So thank you so